Yo ho, what's up, brother Moses? Are you froze? You're lagging out, bro? Or is that me?
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh. Damn, I see what side you bang.
Hey, come on, you know it. You all right? I lost you. Well, it looks like Litecoin Moses is having some trouble. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Discourse Syndicate. RG3 here. We've got some guests in the green room, and we've got Litecoin Moses popping in and out. Let me see if I can pull him up now. Let's see. Here he is. You back? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're good now.
Oh,
you were bebopping in and out and all that stuff.
I was saying, man, the color of the bandana, I see what side you're repping. Okay, I see you.
From the wood, man.
Fuck yeah, man.
That stuff doesn't matter anymore, does it?
No, it's dead as fuck. It doesn't even matter, dude. It's so dead. It's so I don't know. Yeah. It's not as big as it used to be. I would say that. Yeah,
my wife says, so why are you always dressing up for your shows? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you're always wearing a hat. Where's your bandana and your hair just hanging out? And I said, well, I'm trying to be suit and tie guy. She said, that's not you. Put your shit back on. So I said, okay, I'll just put it on. So I did.
What's going to happen over time is every single live stream, like you're going to get more and more like pirate apparel until you're full on like pirates. You got fucking braids on and shit. Full Jack Sparrow, bro.
I want a Jack Sparrow wig, man. I think that'd be cool. But I grew up a punk rock kid, so I mean, I was always a pirate. It's like,
oh really, punk rock? Oh shit.
Yeah,
I would never would have pinned you for that. I thought you were more into surfing and stuff.
Or yeah, what do you think we do? How do you think we surf in LA? It was a whole punk scene back then. We started that whole scene. It was back in the 70s.
Well, the scene out here, me growing up, was all Mac Dre. It was all Mac Dre and like what else? It just EDM music essentially. Well, like house.
Yeah. Well, the surf community up north too is a lot different than it is down here. You got all the blonde hair, surfer dudes, whatever. Down here, it was like surfers. They bang. It's like suicidals and all those kind of guys, and it was just a different type of culture. So, LA, LA Orange County area surfers was like. Anyway, it's all past ancient history, so it doesn't matter. Those days are over with.
But then that shit shapes you to who you are today. It's good to remember it.
Yeah, it's different out there now, but like the area I grew up in, Huntington Beach area, is like it's still a little bit like that. A little locals only kind of thing. Locals only was like the big deal. They'd run people from out of the valley and everything else out of there and stuff. But it was mayhem back in the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
But it's changed a little bit, but I don't know if you've seen some of the news on Huntington Beach and all the banging and shit that's been going on down there with the protesters and we have a big how can I say it? There's a big kind of supremacist society out there in Huntington.
Whoa.
And they clashed with all of the it's pretty thick over there, man. I did not know it was that serious. That's one of the places in Southern California where that exists. There's a deep element of that there, and they clash with the other groups. And Huntington Beach is just one of those places where it's mixed, and it's
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Bubba.
Yeah, that's why I want the baby.
Okay. Thank you. Can I do my show now?
I got pee like.
Okay. Thank you. My 3-year-old, he said treasure. So
let's see who's in the chat right now. What's
Agent Orange. So RG3 is a crip. No, it ain't like that, man. It ain't
John
like
Wallace. I'm actually proud of us. We actually started on time. And
I hit the live button on time. We ran the intro. You caught back in, right after. I mean, that was the only real problem that there was. Somebody said Agent Orange. Yeah, Agent Orange, a local Orange County band out here that back in the day. They were really a surf. They weren't really a punk band, but they made one album and they turned into a punk band, and all the punk people were following them. And they made one album, but they're still around out here. Those guys still hang. They play every once in a while. So, yeah, a lot of the old guys do.
I've seen the Beach Boys actually around my town.
Oh shit, dude! That old, man.
Well, I wasn't like saying that, but I'm just trying to relate. I'm like, well, I've actually met some of the Beach Boys.
Dude, Agent Orange and the Beach Boys are nothing even close to each other, man.
No, but I was like, let me relate with surfing knowledge or some surfer stuff with the Beach Boys. No, Clint Eastwood, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of DI and TSOL and all those guys.
He's mean in person, man.
Who's that?
Clint Eastwood. He's a little mean. Fed him a couple times.
Man, he's supposed to be a badass, right?
Yeah, I've caught him inside Safeway like a bunch of times just buying ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, man. So what's going on this week, brother? Any news other than we're Hex is still sideways? Freaking bargain basement prices right now. If you aren't out there scooping up your Hex, man. So, holy moly.
So I started middle, like I think Wednesday of last week, I started dollar cost averaging back into Hex.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing right now is I have still haven't decided if I'm going to do 4 years, but I pretty much what I'm doing is for every day that I buy, I'm doing a stake for 5 to 11 years. Because I have a little plan that I think the 11 years is going to pay out because a lot of people are doing 10-year stakes maximum or 8 years, 9 years and stuff like that. I think that 11-year stake is going to be like crazy. I mean, if some of the math good texture is done already on the 10-year stake, if it's even like half as true, so it's like a 40x, that 11 years is going to be something like insane. It could be 120, which is like especially with the share price being right now like 1 point whatever it is 3 or so.
Let me give a shout out to the chat. We never do that, dude.
I know.
And they're freaking good. So, hey, what's up, Hex Monkey? Yeah, I'm going to put a parrot on my shoulder and teach it how to say, give me some Hex. Ryan Lopez, one of the Cutthroats, regular on Discourse Syndicate. What's up, dude? T, the Descendants, one of my favorites, bro. One of my favorites. I've got like a shit ton of their vinyl. Let's see. Jumping Kids. How will Ethereum 2.0 affect Hex? We might talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
EMG, X. Yeah, X is a good one too. All these guys are little punk rockers at heart here, it looks like.
Yeah, dude.
It says DC, hearing about the Puerto Rico meetup. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today, actually. Hex Toys. Man, dude, have you seen his freaking app that he's working on right now?
He's killing. He's been linking everybody now. I'm like, dude, I check my notifications and I'm like, what the hell?
he's killing it, man. He's congregating all of the cool apps that are out there and bringing them to a mobile device, bringing them to your mobile device. Uniswap. He's got some shit going on in the background. I just talked to him about, and I ain't gonna share it yet, but he's got some cool shit going on. So he's killing it with the mobile app.
Oh, we gotta talk.
Yeah. I can't like get it all out yet, but he's gonna come on the show. He's working on some stuff real hard. He's got a team working on it now, so he's really kicking some ass. So hats off, Hex Toys. Good job, bro. Can't wait to see the rest of it. Plus, he had my face in it, so I thought that was cool as fuck. Yeah.
The investor, what's up, bro? Ryan Lopez was good, dude. Mouse Trip, Lazor, damn. Okay,
Franklin Saint Hex, what's up, bro? Let's see, northernmost Hexer. Wow, I wonder where you're at, bro. I wonder how far north you really are. Motley Investors in here. Yeah. No, I'm not gripping it, man. I'm just repping my side. DC, Jazz S, Kevin Pua, welcome. Oh, from Singapore. Oh yeah, we got some Singapore in the house. Mouse Trip, always good to have him here. Who else? Day 43 OG. B Brown, Suicidal Tendencies. There you go, bud. That's
Crypto Black Sheep. What's up?
If you knew some of the places I hung out with those guys, man. I mean, there was a place called the Olympic Auditorium, and then there was another place. down in LA or down in Long Beach called Fender's Ballroom, and it burnt down to the ground. But man, we had some freaking badass times down there, man, with the Tennessees. Those guys played it. It's a little tiny little room, just people tearing it up. Anyway, this is Hex, not what's up with punk rock. Crypto Black Sheep, my brother from another mother, Crypto Goose, welcome.
That's good.
Big Gunner. Let's see, can the hex code be cloned? Was listening about why fuck that guy, dude. We don't even talk about that lousy son of a bitch in here. See, RG3's got a new mic. Who's that? Oh, Ballet Brand. He got a new mic, so he wants to come on when he does an echo. Hell yeah, bro. Come on Friday night to the FN Hangout. So
Randy, what's good, bro?
There's Randy and Lazar. Lazar, our Twitter freaking fiend, man. He's out there.
Where's Finding Jim at? I mean, we're missing. We're almost got the whole like team together right now.
Almost the whole
Avengers.
Freaking 77 people watching now, man. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into us. We appreciate all you guys. You guys are killing it with the likes, comments, subscribes, pushing up the volume here, and the show is killing it. So I hope that we're bringing some value. I know tonight we are, because we got somebody really cool as shit that's gonna blow you guys' mind. He's a real life financial advisor. So no financial advice, but we're going to talk to a financial advisor. So that's cool. And then Hexology's in there hitting the button. Yeah,
hit the like button, you guys.
Hit it. And get more people to subscribe so we can get our asses up there and over the top and see if I can get my crazy uncle John in here. And
what's good?
Yep. So hey, without wasting any more time and poking around, we're going to bring our new buddy up here. Well, he's an OG. He's been in the chat rooms since day one. I've we've had conversations in the chat room, but this is the first time he's coming on the show, of course. And here he is, our buddy John Wick. What's up, John Wick? How you doing, bro?
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
How's it going?
We're doing good, man. How about
you? What's up, Litecoin?
Doing good, man.
So check this out. So this is the fucking Cali show right here, man. This is the full on Cali show, because I won't say exactly where. I'm kind of doxed him a little bit, but he's down southern Cal, and I'm here in the SoCal area, and you're from up north, so we got the whole state covered now.
Hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah, man. With the Triforce, baby. Cali Triforce.
Everybody's always talking shit about California, man.
They're jealous of the weather, dude.
Really?
That's what it is. It's jealousy.
I hear it all the freaking time. Oh, fuck California. Blah, 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 blah. But it's like, I don't know. I've been here all my life. I love it. I don't want to go anywhere. Traffic, all of it. LA stinky ass, dirty, screwed up town. I'll take it. Give it to me. I love it.
Except the taxes.
If you make enough money, you don't have to worry about it, right?
Well, if it keeps rolling right. Yeah.
We make more money than people that live in the Midwest do and stuff. So, I mean, it's all relative, It's the price you pay for living in paradise. So, fine.
Yeah.
So what's up, John?
Not too much. Just thanks for having me on. Hopefully I can add some value for the audience. And it's good to finally meet face-to-face with you guys. And hopefully we can get into some of the nitty gritty with Hex and whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm open to talk about whatever you guys want. So, you have me for as long as you want to.
All right.
Go ahead, Litecoin.
I was like, how'd you find out about Hex, man?
So I started following Richard during the bear market in probably the middle of 2018. I was really impressed with his call for the December 20K Christmas. I wish I'd seen that earlier, and then also the short at 19. So that really impressed me with Richard, and I started watching some of his smaller altcoin videos, just to kind of get the scoop on IOTA and Monero and some of the other coins that he would talk about. But mostly it was for Bitcoin TA, Ethereum TA, or just general crypto knowledge, because I think obviously he knows a lot more than probably all of us. combined as far as just crypto in general, and it's been around the longest. So I really just appreciated his work, and everything was free, and he wasn't really shilling too much. And then once I heard he was developing a coin, then I followed all the videos, started doing the deep dives, like the 7-hour or the 6-hour videos, and then kind of just became a big fan, and just been following the project since the launch or pre-launch, and then also through the launch, and just been participating and DCAing. So yeah, been loving the project, and I love the communities too.
That's just, yeah, that's just about, man. Shit, man. I wish I.
What about you guys? I don't know if I caught them, and you might have talked about it before, but I don't think I caught your guys' origin story.
All right. I pretty much heard about it. Well, Richard and stuff about. It must have been 2017, probably like mid 2017 or so, when he was like having debates with like Richard Veer or whatever. So around that time of the whole video, so I was like, oh, it was hella funny. So I was like, cool. I just started watching every video he posts, because he wouldn't post them every week. It would be like every couple of weeks, these live streams and stuff. And then like I was watching that long stream he did with China, when China was going to ban crypto and everything, in which they kind of did essentially, or they did actually. And I just kept following him. He was one of the only people that actually just kept consistent, dropping good videos and content and stuff. Because like a lot of the other people I followed from 2017 or so, they just kind of dropped off like flies. Like they just, the minute like probably they weren't making as much money off of YouTube, they just like, forget it. I mean, I used to watch like Doug Polk was more just for like comedy and stuff, but like even him, the minute like the views went down for crypto, he just stopped making these videos, which like kind of pissed me off a little bit, to tell you the truth, because he was like really funny. But the minute he said a coin, my ears like perked up, like holy crap, hell yeah, let's go. Like I can be in on day one, and then it's been history since, man.
Nice.
What about you, RG3?
Well, I just like crawling in the slums, so that's why I got into crypto. I just I creeped and crawled into the darkness of crypto one day, and saw. Yeah, I had a software company that was in the gaming world in Counter-Strike, and I was building a piece of software, and it never launched. It was at the end of the .com boom and shit, and it was just bad timing for the release and all. But anyway, I used to hang out in the IRC channels, and IIRC channels, and they used to talk about crypto and putting it in games and making currencies for games and whatnot. And this was in the early 2000s, and that's when Brock Pierce was doing that. And so I saw crypto, and then I saw them coming out. They were launching this Bitcoin thing, and they had this Bitcoin forum in the IRC, and I thought it was like a PayPal deal or something like that. It was going to be this thing, and never thought much of it when it launched, and all the geeks were talking about it. But then I was poking around the internet and had to buy some stuff with it, and they wanted Bitcoin, so I had to go get Bitcoin and do the whole thing with the wallet and all that stuff. And I was like, man, this is really a pain in the ass, So I used it and then let it sit there. And one day, about a year later or 2 years later, I went back to it, and there was a shit ton of money in there. I was like, what the hell is all this, And that was when I started looking at it, going, wait, what is this all about? And then I had a buddy that got into it, and of course my buddies, they all started these coins that got themselves in trouble and whatnot.
Oh, shoot.
So I kind of learned about ICOs and all that, back in 15, 16, and then into 17, man, I was just like all gung ho trying to get on everything. That's when I ran into Richard and saw this guy calling, and I liked his style, because he was just like, fuck you guys, and I'm I know what I'm talking about and you don't, and I was like, oh, I like his style. And then I saw him call the top and call the bear market and said it's over, and I was like, damn, man. And then so I just kept watching him, and same thing, you watch him talk about the coin he's going to make, and you're like, well, shit, man, I want to get involved with that. And And then I fell asleep in December and woke up in February and said, "Oh shit, I forgot to buy my HEX." A good thing I did though, because I would have
I know,
DCA'd in
lucky ass.
fucking day one too, like everybody else did, you know.
Yeah.
So shit. So I got in February and DCA'd in from there and caught a couple of nice bottoms and every time I get a chance, you know, like right now, I'm getting ready to get some more. You know, watching the guys that I like right now talking about what they think the bottoms are. You know, like good texture, and everybody likes good texture. He's got good info. So we've been kind of listening to him and buying in and stuff. And
except that Richard unfollowed him. That sucks.
what's that?
Except
Really?
that Richard unfollowed him. Yeah. You
Did he
see all
block
that
him?
Twitter?
It was a friendly little Twitter battle. Richard
Oh,
said he was
really?
going to unfollow a bunch of people. He said, "Hey, I got a clean house here."
He did. I think I saw. Well, this is like earlier in the day. I think yesterday he had like 300 and some change people he was following. Today he's got like 202 or something. So he unfollowed a grip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I made the cut or not. He just started following me like a couple of weeks ago.
He does not follow Litecoin Moses. That's a fact.
No? Oh, so
Probably not.
I feel privileged then. He just started following
Yeah.
me a couple of weeks ago. I must have done something wrong.
No, I post too much Illuminati cards to be followed by Richard Card.
Like your Illuminati shit. So John, so tell us about your as much about your real life job as you can, so we understand where you're coming from mentally.
Yeah, sure. So I'm an investment advisor, wealth manager. So what I do is I help individuals, businesses, families just plan for certain things such as retirement, save for their kids, or just straight up investments and asset management. And then I also do some trust stuff, business planning, tax planning. So kind of the whole 9 yards as far as personal and business planning. And of course, I have to have a little bit of a disclosure by saying that none of this is financial advice or individual personalized advice. So it's all just speculation and just conversation that we're having here. But yeah, that's what I do for work. And so HEX obviously was interested in me because it was going after a market that I can actually sell to clients. So I wanted to see what is the competition, what is the the new tech, what are they doing to take some of the market share, or why are people even buying this? So that was kind of like the initial intrigue into HEX, just coming from a legacy financial market, if that makes sense.
So let me ask you this question then. So you being a traditional financial planner, how do you make crypto fit into people's portfolios with confidence? I mean, do you suggest crypto, or how does that work?
At the current moment, no. I would like to have like a one-click, easy way to do it passively, probably through an index fund. But right now, your only bet is to buy GBTC, which is the ETF or like the fund that you can buy that's run by Grayscale. But right now it's an unregulated market. The SEC, wants to crack down on. There's a lot of scams, obviously, a lot of shady behavior going on in the space. So they're obviously not going to let the average investor just, buy as much as they want, especially through advisors, because we have a lot of liability and risk associated with our work, and we have to get all this insurance just to even, be in the industry. So yeah, that's. So go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
But if you were to advise someone, right, would you try to do something like maybe 1% of the portfolio? For obviously, I'm kind of guessing the younger the person is, the larger that percent would be. But as a person that would gets over the age of 50, let's just say would be like 1% in crypto assets.
Yeah, 50-year-old probably going to go less than one.
Really?
Probably say,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, just because the risk, quote unquote, associated with crypto is much higher. So from a risk profile of the whole portfolio, you don't need to put a large amount to, add the alpha or add the risk. or the upside volatility to the portfolio, as opposed to if you're, you don't need to put a 5% or 10% like some people say.
Right, right.
I know some people like Pomp like to say 1% for the institutions. It's really going to be very individualized, whatever your risk profile is, whatever you're willing to, gamble with. Like RG3 likes to say, this is gamble money or this is play money. But if you have the risk tolerance and you can stomach the losses and you can stake for a long period of time, I don't see why 1% or more or 5% could be a reasonable thing for a younger individual. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I mean, this is me, what I've heard some people in my life personally is like from people from like some cousins and friends of mine that are like 18 to like 21. I told them just YOLO into crypto, man. It doesn't like literally I told them like if they lose it all, it doesn't really matter because they're so in the beginning of their life that it's not that important. Obviously, I don't tell them to put in like, if let's just say like their parents have saved up some money for college. No, not that money. No, I'm talking about the money maybe you just earn at a job, as a part-time job or something, just throwing half of it in there and then just keeping the rest, something like that, where, as a person, as like you start getting older, I'm not saying like, I've caught people out here telling people like, spend your rent money. What? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's right. Like as you get older, you get more responsibilities and stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised. Like even less than 1% would be enough alpha.
Yeah, if you back test at least for this is all Bitcoin, obviously some altcoins have done better, higher, and then they've crashed harder. So if you just look at Bitcoin, putting in, I think I've seen some of the studies where you put in 1 or 2% into the portfolio and you back test it, it's outperformed pretty much any 60-40, 80-20 portfolios, stock to bond portfolio, or even 100% equities. Just having that 1% has really increased the alpha of the portfolio and decreased the volatility actually in a weird way, right? Because it's just been going up the last decade or so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously everyone's free to make their own decisions and they just have to be, to own those decisions. Right. And then, if you get wrecked, that's on you. But if you do well, that's on you, of course, as well. So it's very individualized, I would say.
So do you talk to your clients about, other assets, classic cars, baseball cards, those kinds of things? Do you even talk about those types of assets, or is it just financial assets that you deal with?
Majority financial assets. I do get questions from some of the younger people about crypto, and I like just having, being knowledgeable about the space. So that's kind of what attracted me to crypto as well, is not only the gains, but also at the education and just being a resource for people so they can kind of stay away from some of the shadier things or the sketchier projects. And I can give them like a reasonable answer because they all want to know where the price is going, right? That's all they care about. Am I going to make money? I'm only going to buy this for, like Richard says, people only buy crypto to make money. And I think that's 100% true. And that's something that it took me a while to realize. I guess the bear markets kind of and Richard explained it over and over again for me to realize. So I don't recommend too many of the alternative, as they call alternative asset classes. Although I don't say you cannot, of course, if someone really likes collectibles or certain types of investments, so be it. But just make sure within the whole grand scheme of things, your asset allocation is reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. So,
yeah.
The boring stuff, right? We're starting to talk about the
asset allocation.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I got. I was asking that because I've got some gold and I got some. I've got classic cars. I've got baseball cards and I've got basketball. Like when my kid was a toddler, my son, he's grown now, but I got him a handful of Shaq rookie cards and Kobe rookie cards and got him, minted 9s and 10, 9s and stuff and put those away. But even those, even with the horrible situation about Kobe, rest in peace, brother. But, even those haven't really appreciated that much at this time. They're 18 years old, 17 years old, the cards, but, I'm 20 years old, but they haven't really done much, I know vehicles, they hold their value a little bit, but now crypto seems to, in the scheme of things over the last 10 years has obviously, grown. as far as an asset class goes. So you would probably feel a lot more comfortable talking to your clients about that than these other things, right?
So what are we talking about specifically? Like, you talking
From
about
away
crypto?
from comparing crypto to these alternative
These collectibles, because I mean that's really what the
Oh.
class of what crypto really is when you're talking about an
Mhm.
investment, right? I mean, because it's not
Commodity.
it's a commodity. It's not
Yeah.
really. It's more of like a collectible than anything, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's classified as a commodity, taxed as a real asset. So I mean, I'm very comfortable talking to people about it. I'm obviously excited about crypto. I'm very bullish long term, bullish HEX, bullish Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that. But I just have to be careful with what I say, the words I say. Obviously, there's no promises, no guarantees that they're going to succeed, of course. But I think it does. It is I guess for crypto, there's some people that feel like they're behind on their retirement, and then they feel like crypto is a way to accelerate that and get to their goals sooner. And there's a lot of people that are getting into crypto just to retire early or to buy their financial freedom, like Richard likes to say, which I think is a very noble and good thing to go after. I think most people, whether they like it or not, or actually want that. So do you have something to say, like?
No, I wasn't raising my hand. I was just.
That's
saying,
you.
Like,
Okay.
try to retire early. I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean that's a major goal for most people that I talk to.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody wants to retire early.
Right.
I just want to retire now because it's not early for me anymore. It's just, I just want to fucking retire because I've talked about it before that, my generation has kind of like lost all of its retirement benefits. We don't have pension plans anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We all moved job to job to job to job to job. My father and my grandfather, they worked at the same place for 30, 40 years. I've had to move jobs, 4 or 5 times out here just to chase the dollar, try and get that extra couple bucks an hour, raise. So I've had to work at 5 different companies, and every time you do that. And then when we had the crash, people are losing their 401ks and everything's going down and all that kind of stuff, so I tried to do what I could to gather as much different types of assets as I could for this retirement thing. And then I saw crypto and saw, what it could do for me and actually maybe get me into retirement versus, me having to work until I'm 75, 80 years old, like some of the guys out here are, I mean, there's guys in my industry and it's a very physical industry and they're 70 years old. And they're still working, driving trucks and moving equipment and stuff. I mean, literally 70 years old. I mean, can you imagine having to do backbreaking work at 70 years old? It's crazy. It's actually one of them. He was 72 years old. Freaking just retired, man. It's like, dude. Jeez. And I mean, it kept him in good shape. Don't get me wrong. It kept him, being physical and all that, kept him physically in decent shape. I mean, his back was wrecked and,
his back is probably done.
Back is done. He's probably, once he finally does sit down, he's going to be in a freaking wheelchair for the rest of his life. But, 72, that's just, I mean, gosh, man, I hope you guys figure it out better than we did. That's for sure. Because us old timers, man, we're screwed right now.
I thank YouTube so much for even existing. No, I know there's a lot of like political bullshit with the people who actually run YouTube, but the content creators that make things on YouTube are like a godsend, to tell you the truth, because I wouldn't even know half the things I even know right now if it wasn't for that.
I'm telling you, the tools that you guys have at your disposal right now, this generation, I mean, it's freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, because when we had to learn shit, you had to find a book, man. You couldn't just Google something. You literally had to find a book if there was a book about it, And then there was just a lot of things you just had to learn, on your own. There wasn't forums, there wasn't YouTube. Now you can go on YouTube and freaking learn anything. I mean, like that,
Yep.
I mean, I got a small machine shop in my garage and I go on YouTube and I can look how to make a part and go set up my tooling and shit, boom, and I can do it. Whereas before I would have never been able to figure that out. I mean, it's really cool what you guys have at your disposal. So I don't know, I just hope that the world offers you guys what you deserve, or what you guys can. I hope it reciprocates is what I'm saying, because like I look at my kids and how friggin' smart they are at the age that they are. I'm like, damn, man, my generation was not even close to being as smart as you kids are today. Because you guys have everything at your fingertips, and and crypto. You got crypto too.
It's definitely a great time. And information obviously has been democratized, across the board. It's just the desire to learn, I feel like, is the scarce asset now, not the information itself. It's, the motivation, the internal, the innate desire to learn, or, if you have that, you can learn anything you want. You can learn any skill you want nowadays. So it is a cool time to be alive, for sure.
It is. So how does, how is, how long have you been working in the market space that you're in? How many years have you been doing it?
I went into business in 2012. So it's been a really good run in the legacy markets.
You do it on your own, or you work for a company?
I work for a firm, but I have all my own clients, and it's all client, one-on-ones and stuff. Yeah, my own book and everything. So I have a little support, assistant and all that. But in general, I'm getting my own clients, referrals, personal contacts, etc.
Damn, dude, you picked a great year to go into business, man. That's when stocks really started launching, bro. Nice.
I think when I got in,
it's been a straight up run, that's for sure, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The S&P was like 1,200 when I started, I think. Now it's like 3,200 today. Yeah. After
your clients love you.
We've been getting a lot of good results, so I'm happy, and especially for the people that are getting to retirement now, that was very important for them, because sequence of returns. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term. But sequence of returns and retirement planning is very important, and no one really talks about it. So I was very happy with some of my clients that were retiring the last couple of years. They were able to realize and capture all those gains, as opposed to, retiring in a bear market. So that was a nice thing. Yeah.
So okay, so you have your clients. You kind of can talk to them a little bit about crypto if they're asking you questions. How do you talk to friends, family, people that how do you talk to them, people that you don't have to worry about your disclosure? How do you talk to them about HEX and crypto in general?
Well, it's tough to talk to people about crypto, as you guys know, and have discussed on this channel before. From my experience is I'm in general, in my friends group or family, I'm the crypto person. People, they see the market's up, they text me, they see it's down, they'll say something pretty snarky or whatever. But in general, like, most people aren't interested in crypto. I don't think they really have studied the history of the returns and the performance. And they just view it as like the risk is a little bit too much for them. They don't really look at the upside volatility as much as what I've found. So I would hope to, educate them and explain things, but like, people I feel like they tune out after a minute, or maybe even less than a minute, and they just start thinking about something else. You can see their head is just like elsewhere while you're talking about like the ledger and making sure it's verified and all those like technical things that no one really cares about. So in general, like, most of my friends or family are not really into crypto because it's just too much, or it's too complicated, or they don't really want to they don't want to do the work to dive into the research required and the time spent to really understand what's going on. And then HEX is on a whole nother level almost, because you also have to understand Ethereum to understand HEX almost. You have to understand smart contracts versus just Bitcoin store value gold. That's a little bit easier, stock to flow, all that. So that's easier to explain, I think, to the average investor, whereas Ethereum has all the other DeFi and stuff, which is a little bit harder to explain. I found, at least.
Well, what about, HEX as a financial product for you? I mean, you're a financial guy. So how would you explain HEX to somebody if it was a financial product? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I would first obviously make the analogy to the CD, where you lock it up, and then you get 20% more per year that you lock up. If you break that lockup period, you get penalized on some of your interest. So I would go about explaining that you get a set interest. Well, that's the thing. It's like, you don't get a set interest, so it's hard to explain that aspect of it, because like, why is it a dynamic thing? Well, there's this game theory here, and then there's this variable, and there's this variable. So I would just probably try to just go for the basics and not get into the intricacies of all the game theory and all that. I would just say it's blockchain, and now it's on crypto. You have a guaranteed interest through the smart contract, but you also have potential for gains on the HEX coins themselves. in addition to the interest accrued. So that's what probably I would say.
I like telling
yeah.
them that that it's a CD product, but you're actually part of the bank versus the bank making the gains on people defaulting or early exiting their stakes. You know, you're the bank, and the people that are staked, they make the gains from other people's penalties. You know, versus, you know, the bank takes those. We never see it. If we're in a CD, we never see any of that, you know. But if you're in Hex, you get the gains for that.
Right. That is a good distinction right there. Yeah.
Because I mean, basically, it puts the power of the whole project in the strong hands, where weekends, of course, give it up to them, and the bank doesn't. The middleman's gone, so we get to be part of the middleman. So,
yeah. And also, it'd also be pretty cool to also explain, because I'm pretty sure, because you buy bonds for your clients, that you could explain to them, because they would probably understand what a CD ladder is or a bond ladder, right? So that's probably a good way to relate it to crypto, where like this is, you can actually create a ladder. Oh, it's real, and then to give like monthly income or weekly income, depending on what the client needs and stuff. Because I know a lot of like financial advisors, eventually when the client has enough assets, they get them into like maybe rental income to supplement their income, because of the because some if I remember correctly, there's just some people, no matter like they don't have enough income to act from their 401k to have enough money from the 4% rule in order to kind of retire, even with like Social Security, where sometimes they can bridge the gap with like income from a rental property or property from a parent or that recently died or something. Because by the time someone's getting like 65, 75, their parents are probably not in good shape, sadly enough, and I know some people that were able to like bridge that gap when they're essentially their parents died, and they were able to sell off the house or use that as rental income.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the passive income strategies that a lot of people like. Another one I like is just municipal bonds in general.
Yeah,
like you said, bonds. Like once people get enough assets, you could just live off passive interest every month, and it's tax free, especially for California people. It depends how much you earn, obviously, but that's a huge tax break, or a huge net income or after tax income compared to some of the other strategies.
And is that a California thing? Because I've been given a lot of advice about muni bonds out here from some very wealthy people that are doing very well, and they said muni bonds are the way to go. Is that a California thing, or is that kind of like across the board? And of course, we're talking about the U.S., and a lot of these people aren't from the U.S., so we might be splitting hairs and getting too detailed into stuff here. But I'm gonna.
Well,
go ahead.
It's definitely a big business in California just because of the taxation. There's a lot of high earners here. LA, SoCal, the Bay, Silicon Valley. So there's a lot of income. There's a lot of money here. So their incomes are obviously high. The state tax is super high. So it's a way to bypass that and not have to do anything, right? Because a fun stat that I like to tell people is the average millionaire has 7 forms of income.
Yes.
That's the average. So some people have 1 or 2, 3, and then some people have like 10, 12. So that could be a strategy for people, is to do, like HEX or muni bonds, real estate income. So that these people that are you own businesses. So that's like a form of getting the 7 forms of income without having to work for it, which is one of the reasons, going back to HEX, I like, because of the passive nature of it, where you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work. You're not putting any entrepreneurial effort. You're just literally sitting back and burning the coins, and then you're getting more back when you remint them. So
here's that's a great segue into this question. I'm going to pull some of the questions out. There's some great questions in the chat right now. Okay. So EMG says this. So this is kind of a way for you to kind of get in and out of trouble. So John, put some money where your mouth is. Let's hear some modeling breakdown. If I gave you $100,000, what would you deploy it into? Not what you would suggest. What would you personally? What would you do with $100,000 if somebody handed it to you right now?
He's talking about me personally, not him.
Yeah, no, you. He said you. He said he's going to give you $100,000. What are you going to do with it, John?
Well, I would definitely put some in the HEX. I won't go into the
that 1%, or would you put a little more than 1%?
I would put more. If I was given 100,000, I would probably put more, just because.
How much
right
more?
now? If I didn't have any,
just you.
Yeah,
if I didn't have any expenses or things I needed to cover, I would put probably a quarter of that,
A quarter.
maybe more. Just because right now we're in a unique phase of Hex where the big payday, I feel like, has a huge incentive to stake and to stake long. So I feel like obviously this is a once in a coin thing where we're going to get a huge payday on November 19th, and the rewards for staking are huge, like so massive that I don't see anywhere else that it's going to give you those type of benefits and bonuses. Like you can't get that in the legacy market, at least to that degree, and then you can't get that anywhere else really, with the smart contract involved, with the audits involved. So I would definitely put a big chunk into Hex, but as far as the other allocations, probably just diversified mutual funds or ETFs. I would do maybe some private startup investing or some Reg A plus investing, so some pre-IPO companies. So I like to diversify. You don't want to just bet all your chickens in one founder or one startup, of course, as you guys know. So I would diversify amongst geographical locations, also different industries, and then some private, some public companies, and then crypto, of course.
Right, but I think crypto is one of the only places where you can actually get access to those like investments that only an accredited investor could get into.
Yeah,
right?
And then I know that you left out the 25% on hookers and cocaine, right?
Yeah, I left that out. I left that one out.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, conveniently.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was some more stuff in here. So 100 grand. Where'd it go? Be careful what you say here, dude. Okay, here's a good one from Randy. We were talking earlier about, so I forget how far along we are in crypto. Maybe it's best to bypass the history of crypto and just hit them on the CD and the blockchain thing. I mean, I think everybody knows what crypto is and what the blockchain is and, what it means. And it's probably right. We should be just talking about Hex being a CD. I mean, eventually when marketing comes out and they do, we do start seeing Main Street marketing. I mean, it's going to be marketed as a CD product. I mean, John, if you see how CD products are marketed, how do you see Hex being marketed, and what do you see? I mean, how big do you see that being, like, just to the general public? If they were to market Hex as a CD, how would that look?
Wow. I'm not sure, because when you turn on the TV, you don't really see too many CD commercials, because it's so pervasive, and at least in the US, of course it's the US based, but they're so pervasive. Everyone knows about CDs that I feel like when you go in the bank, that's, they're going to talk about that.
But you personally, you understand the lingo and how it's marketed, right? I mean,
I see.
You see it all the time. We don't, but you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly have no idea how the OA or whoever is going to market Hex. I would assume that there's going to be, obviously a very huge digital imprint, on all the channels that crypto people are online. And then I'm sure that, and Richard's mentioned this, he wants to get the people outside of crypto. He wants to get the Main Street investors into Hex. Especially probably after the big payday, but hopefully we can get some before big payday so they can reap the rewards, and then they can get hooked, and then they can buy more. That, I feel like, should be our goal as far as getting people before the big payday, as opposed to just saying oh, let's wait till after that. But as far as the marketing goes, I have no idea what's going to happen or what to expect. It's too many variables, I think, to even guess or throw out anything.
So I know with investments with advertisement, especially on TV, right, is there's a lot of regulations, but is one of the reasons why they're not advertised as much because the percentage you're getting on a CD or something, right, like a 5-year bond or so, it's 2-3%. You think one of the reasons why they don't advertise it on TV is because the yield is so low?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because I mean, partially probably the yields are super low. I always people constantly ask me for safe, liquid, investments that are paying more than the bank, because people are fed up with getting such low rates in their checking and their savings, right? They're like, I have 50, let's say I have 50, 100,000 just saved up, and it's just been sitting there for the last 5 years. You could have put it in the markets and we could have done, obviously done a lot better, but they wanted that safe. And then they're saying, well, I don't want the market risk, but I want interest, so it's like they want kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So maybe HEX can kind of get some of those people. My hope is that's the case, but it's just again, it's such a huge barrier. The education barrier is huge in crypto, to onboarding them, to getting ETH, to getting MetaMask, to getting Uniswap, and understanding that whole process is a huge task for the average investor. So there has to be some hand holding, some support there. That I don't know how we're gonna do that, but I think as a community that should be one of the the main focuses, is some of that hand holding process, how to make that smoother. That some guys are working on it, so I commend them for doing that. That's great.
That's my biggest gripe on crypto is the onboarding process, the fees involved in doing so. So many times you have to come in and you pay a fee to get in. It's huge, and then you got to pay a fee to move, and then you got to pay a fee to accept, and another fee. But by the time you get done, you're paying $5 or $6 or $7 for a small transaction, going here, there, trying to move things around. And I do a lot of that, just playing with HEX and moving it around and seeing how all the games work and all that. And it's a lot of money in fees. So the fees are a problem, and the speed at which it moves is a problem, and the difficulty of onboarding somebody is a problem. And when they start to get all of those things kind of figured out, fixed, and worked on, then it'll be a little bit more attractive to folks, I think. I think that that HEX's ability to onboard people, because of its sexiness, for a lack of a better term, is going to be a lot better and quicker than the onboarding process getting better. I think that HEX will bring more people to crypto than anything else. I'm really bearish on Bitcoin right now. I think that Bitcoin is just flattening out, and I just see all this money sitting in there just waiting, not coming in. Either they're waiting for it to crash down and then buy it all up and then start a bull run, and that's, I don't know what's going on. It's just a weird space right now. Right. Let me go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's been in this range for so long, it seems, that I have no idea where it's gonna go, where it's headed next.
And it's weird, because it was just like there was an awakening here with the halvening shit, and then 2020 just starts smacking everybody around, and then HEX, of course, being in HEX has like been the most exciting thing in the freaking world. I mean, everything else is crumbling to shit, and HEX is like freaking blasting off, and so that made it even weirder. But then if you kind of in retrospect look at crypto, like, wait, let me take my eyes off of HEX for a second and look at crypto, and you look back and you go, oh shit, man, it's not really doing too well right now. It's kind of just lingering, and the halvening, and I saw them all try and, when the halvening was coming, they all banded together and tried to hype it up and pump it up and do all that, and it went true.
I was thinking this entire time that one of the reasons why everything was pumping was because we basically cash infused all these crypto investors with some Trump bucks, and people I know people YOLO'd in that $1,200 they got.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it all over Twitter. Everybody was posting it. Oh, my 1,200. There's people that post in the main chat. My 1,200 is worth $7,000 now.
Yeah. I know a lot of hexers did that. I was surprised, but actually shouldn't be surprised, but yeah.
Yeah. Let me pull up this other question. So Hex Tracking said, so this is a question to me. It says, RG, are you buying the low HEX prices now? If not, why not? Yes, I am. I am buying right now. Oh man, we just went over 100 and we have 101 viewers. Thanks everybody. Woo. Like, comment, subscribe, smash our like button.
Follow RG3 on Twitter.
John
Wick on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
No Twitter.
I'm RG3 00045. Once you'll see the pirate on there, and as soon as you hit RG3 and another 3 and a 0, 0. I don't know why it did. I made another name in it, and it came up with that for some reason for me. So
you can still change it. You have to go into your settings on Twitter, and then you can actually make it RG3 something.
Okay, I'll see if I can.
We'll figure it out later.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thanks guys for watching and putting us over 100. That's cool. But yes, I am buying the bottoms. I'm always buying bottoms. Right now, I'm kind of waiting. I'm thinking that it's gonna maybe drop a little bit more, but shoot, man, by the time this is over, it could be freaking moonshotting by the time we're done with the stream. You know.
That's why I started dollar cost averaging back in, because I started seeing like if it does go lower, I'm gonna catch it. If not, hey, whatever. But
right.
I felt something in the force.
I think it's if you dollar cost average over time, it's hard to lose, because if the price keeps going up, then you can either just stay on the sidelines, and then just your bags are increasing, or if it keeps going down, then you just keep averaging down, lower your cost basis. So that's what I've been doing in general, just following the project closely, and all the metrics have been amazing as far as like a new coin, and the community is awesome, and you guys are shilling content every day. Hexo, shout out to Hexo. Love his work, and he's a great guy and doing great work for the community and for the project. But a quick question I wanted to ask you guys, if that's okay, is like what convinced you guys on Hex as an investment? Like, was it a light bulb switch for you guys, or was it like a slow grind of learning everything about it, and then you were like, oh, I really love this project?
Well, for me, I mean, I liked the concept of it. I didn't quite understand everything with the interest rate, so I was hoping for a lot of things. That's been my process for all of this. Is I've been hoping for a lot of things to be revealed, and they all have been. Even all the way up and until my questioning about the OA and the flush addresses and how they work and how that's working within the system. And so I have all these different, I don't have any expectations, but I have some hopes for how I think things are working or how I understand them. And so far, everything has outperformed my what I was hoping for. So as I discovered what Hex was all about, I mean, I had an idea of what it was. I've always been a big believer in that staking. So when I got involved in one of my good friend's projects, he was a miner. He started a staking coin, and it wasn't really a staking coin. They held your keys, and it ended up turning into a big disaster because that's the way they all did it. But the concepts that I was being sold by some of these staking coins was really intriguing to me, because I seen mining operations, and I seen how utterly destructive they were. I mean, so much. I mean, just to keep those things cool, to keep these big warehouses cool was like, I mean, phenomenal. It's one thing for those things to be running like they were. It was another thing to keep them cool, keep them running. I mean, it was just, it was mind blowing how much power they were sucking. And I've actually talked to people who were building these things in the US, in Utah, trying to put these things together. And the power, when they were talking to people about the power, and I was trying to help them with some of these projects, they were just like, you need how much power? Are you kidding me? Nobody needs that much power. But they're sucking that much power. So they're just really, really wasteful as far as, the proof of work goes. So I always thought, okay, so proof of stake is going to be where it's at, So every proof of stake coin that I've ever looked at has just kind of pulled the wool over my eyes. And when I seen Hex, I said, okay, wait a second. This is going to be a finished contract. So it's going to stake the amount of time I stake it, and it's going to come out. And I never lose my keys. There is no third party. There's nobody else involved. So that was attractive to me, because any other time I had done it, and I don't know what other staking coins are out there and how they handle their business or whatever. I just haven't looked into them deep enough anymore, because now I'm involved in Hex, and Hex is actually everything that I wanted in a staking coin. So, but they all fell flat on their faces as far as being that proof of stake coin. So Hex did it for me. Hex is, you know, DeFi. The fact that it's hooked up with Uniswap makes it even that much more attractive, you know? So that's what really did it for me. I mean, and I was already sold on Hex, but then when I saw Uniswap and how they intermingled with one another, I was like, man, that's what got me excited. It got me really excited because it was, you know, oops, we lost Litecoin. So that's how I feel about it. Let's we got another cutthroat here.
Oh, there he is.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up,
John
Coffee?
Wick, good to actually see you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
It's a great day for me because I just got a beautiful new shirt. I don't know if you can tell.
Oh, dude, what's up with that, man?
Dude, I had it custom printed, although the colors didn't really turn out how I thought they would. So, you know, it's a little faded, but you know.
Well,
So
we can't really see it because you got your crazy mood light on. So we could see it, but now we can see the colors.
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So what you been up to?
Not much, man. I've been working a lot. Really, really tired. Just gonna do a few minutes here and just wanted to say hi to John Wick and everybody.
Yeah, we miss you, man. We haven't seen you for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I got some videos coming out soon, later this week. So stay tuned and all that.
Some cool shit or what?
I hope so. But just whatever I'm thinking about, you know.
You got John coming on yet?
No, we can do a
Caffey?
stream sometime, man. Oh, John McAfee.
Yeah, I mean,
John
McAfee.
Different John. Yeah, no.
Our crazy uncle.
I should reach out to that guy. That'd be a fun show.
You got 1,000.
That'd be
You got
entertaining.
1,000 subs, right?
Do I? I think I'm at 950, 920
Chat,
maybe.
what are you guys doing? Come on, subscribe. Let's get into 1,000. Come on.
Get crypto
Yeah.
coffee to 1,000, man. You can get
help me out here.
We need a
What's up,
McAfee
Randy?
interview.
Yeah.
Are you looking in the chat? So let me answer a couple of chat rooms real quick. So RG3, have you staked Hex for your 5-year-old son yet? He's 3, and yes, I have. I've staked for all my kids. What I did with my stakes was I looked at their life situation where time for maybe a home, or when I'm going to kick them out the fucking house, or college. And, for my daughter, I put a little stake out there where I wanted it to be for a wedding type of thing. So I've put some stakes out there for my family for life situations. So I laddered as far as I laddered in some early, I laddered in some late. And then I went into life situations and put some things out there for my kids and me and my wife at some certain points in our marriage where we're going to want to have a vacation or something. So I put some stakes out there for some nice stuff. And then now what I'm doing is I'm dollar cost averaging in and filling in gaps. So now I'm trying to make some income, some monthly income stakes, and that way just filling in the gaps now until I can't afford to fill them in anymore. And I'm pretty sure right around October is when it's going to start getting real expensive for Hex. That's just my thought is that, we're about to see the bottom here pretty soon. And then this is going to be the end of it. And it's just going to, because guys, we're only a few months away.
You guys buying this dip?
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yes,
It was
sir.
irresistible, man. I bought it 0.004 and it dipped a little more, but whatever. It's nice to have that calm mentality when you've been in it from the beginning. There's not much that can shake you at that point. But weak hands are going to be weak hands. They're still out there.
Yeah.
But every weak hand that dumps is just another. They're dumping to a stronger hand, hopefully.
Yeah, there's so many DApps out there right now. I'm wondering if some of that's going on too.
I don't want to talk about it, but I know for a fact there's some people dumping from some DApps going on, but they're doing what they claim they have to do, and that's okay. That's okay.
That's what they do. Hex. It's not going to kill it. No, it's
give me all the cheap Hex.
Yeah.
And you know what? And all of you out there talking shit about the DApps can thank them for the low prices that you got on Hex right now. And if you didn't capitalize on it, and you're still complaining later. And you could have bought you could be thanking these guys for doing it for you. Instead, you're talking shit and not buying the dip, and then you're gonna sit there and then you're still gonna talk shit when freaking moon's on you, and you're being like, oh, I should have bought the dip.
There's only one rule: it's buy the dip. It's like the only thing you got to do in crypto.
It is.
Someone's wondering. Mouse Trip is wondering if I cash out all my MCO. No, it ends up. It ends my stake in 2 days. So I locked up a bunch of MCO for like 6 months because I had to. And now I'm kind of over it just because why bother with anything else? But yeah, I'm going to be dumping in 2 days. MCO?
Yeah.
It's crypto.com.
That's
yeah, it's the one they make you stake
15%?
for like. Yeah, I mean it's no HEX, but I'm not down on it. So
that's good.
Gonna be dumping that for some HEX pretty soon.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. What price is it now? I haven't checked lately.
Where are we at right now?
3?
Is that where? Well, we've been 3 for the
3
the last day.
Nice.
299.
Now I just heard what do you call it? Good Texture said he's thinking 2.5. That's his buy at 2.5. He's got 2.5 as his buy, so I'm like, okay, man, 2.5's the buy as far as I'm concerned.
It's going to hit 2.6 and rocket. That's what's going to happen.
So I'm gonna run it.
Damn straight, man. Damn straight. Or
he's got a crystal ball.
Only if I buy at 3. If I buy at 3, then it'll jump down to freaking 1, and then that'll happen.
Hey, John Wick, I never even asked you. Like, were you buying through the AA during the beginning, or did you just buy all your HEX through Uniswap?
I think we lost.
Yeah, I've been.
You've been DC.
Sorry, I think it cut out for a second, but
okay.
yeah, I was. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was. I didn't FOMO day one, but I definitely contributed day one. And then from there, I was just watching the AA like a hawk for the basically since it's the launch. So I was trying to see all the snipers coming in. If you guys remember back then, there was the snipers, and that was like it. So I was like seeing it, like trying to get like some insights from people to see if like they did the chain analysis, see if like they were gonna dump it into the AA. So yeah. Anyways, I've been DCing in the AA, and then when we really took off, I just started buying on Uniswap because I think it was cheaper in general. So yeah, I've just for the most part just been using Uniswap the last couple months. For the most part, which I love. I think it's one of the revelations about HEX that was surprising and very enticing as far as just like attractive getting in and out. That's obviously a huge concern that I've talked to people just in other Telegram chat rooms, and they say, well, it's not liquid. How do you say, like, can you even sell? Or so now that we have that, we can say Uniswap is right here and it's audited and it's a great product, and you don't have to trust anyone. I think that's a great value add for HEX, long term.
Definitely.
So the Discourse Syndicate call is in. I called it from 41. It's 29 now. Good enough, he says.
Okay.
He's backing out. He's chicken shitting out and saying, that's it, 29, bye. I'm not going to go 25.
I mean, there is almost no volume right now, so there's very little activity. This could be the low. I mean, I'm not a trader, but if I was.
Right back, you guys.
Sure.
I know, man. I'm like, now I'm scared. I'm like, oh shit, man. I got to get off the stream so I can go get my
yeah. Dude, Ethereum should thank HEX so much, dude. They HEX has onboarded so many fucking people to use MetaMask and Uniswap, and I think it's really legitimized a lot of this stuff. Like, if it wasn't for HEX, a lot of people wouldn't even be in the Ethereum ecosystem outside of owning the coin. Like now people, I mean, I've gotten really used to using MetaMask and Uniswap now, which is giving me like this new language into all these other coins or all these other projects like that I wouldn't even have messed with and stuff. If I didn't even do Decentraland, I wouldn't even have MetaMask at all. But you know what I mean? Or HEX,
Yeah.
I mean, not HEX. I downloaded MetaMask to get HEX, and then I was able to get into Decentraland. But if it wasn't for HEX, I wouldn't even have gone into Decentraland. That's how crazy it is.
Shit.
Yeah.
Update, guys. Steph says it will dump further.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Well, he's
Steph,
obviously
good
right.
texture.
Unfollow, bro.
Man,
Fucking man. Good texture. It was ruffling some feathers with his bearish posts on Twitter. I thought it was hilarious.
That's his
I thought it
job,
was
bro.
awesome. I love it. I love it.
He's our hit man. He's my sergeant at arms, man.
Yeah, you gotta.
Did you see him? Did you see him come in the stream and crack Hexillionaire?
Yeah, dude. I actually looked into that thing that he was talking about. I forgot the name.
Unipower.
Yeah, whatever, some scam or whatever. But I looked it up on Etherscan, and I went through the same process that I'm pretty sure Good Texture did. I looked at the contracts, and I was like, what does this thing actually do? Like, because I got excited at first because Hexillionaire mentioned that it was made by the Uniswap guys or something like that, and they were going to do, like, I was like, oh, if it's made by the developers that made Uniswap, it's got to be worth looking into at least. And I gave it a look. I actually just messaged Good Texture too. I'm like, dude, thanks for calling that guy out later in the stream, because as I was researching it, it got to the point where Good Texture came on the show, and as I was looking at the smart contract, I could hear Good Texture like bitching him out in the background. I was like, this is great timing right now. But
he
was trying to save Discourse Syndicate is what he was doing. He was coming in trying to he was defending our honor is what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, but there's no honor here, man. This is, we like I said, we crawl through the slime here for you, so you don't have to. None of it's financial advice, and if you're listening to this show and taking it as financial advice, we're just talking about Hex, and I try and bring smarter people like John on so that you guys can hear from the outside, from people who are in the financial world, how they perceive the risk in crypto. Not only on a professional side, but on their personal side. Obviously John is a real world financial investor who believes in crypto for himself. He obviously can't give it to his clients. But if they do have questions, he wants to be smart about it and be able to talk to them about it. But as if you heard in the beginning, he's talking about, 1%, of a very risky part of your portfolio being in crypto. So that's the real life scenario of what he's saying. But personally, if you gave him $100,000, he's gonna put 25% of that shit in Hex, bitch. So I mean,
I don't believe him. It's 40. He just doesn't say
40% and 60 on strippers and cocaine, right?
Yeah. I called Good Texture's tweets fucking like psyops and shit. Like, I don't believe him. It's like,
man.
It's like when he say he's like bearish, I'm like, oh, he's bullish as hell right now.
Dude,
holy
crap.
Yeah.
He's undercover, bro. He's in there. And he's freaking. He tears it up, bro. He tears it up. He's my sergeant at arms. I'm telling you. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to grab in the chat here. Thanks for calling him out. Blah, blah, blah. Sweet costs. Def, tweet out your price call so I can congratulate you later. he said, Steph, tweet out your price call so I can congratulate you later. He's saying, put your money where your mouth is, boy. Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Dude, I remember when was it? It must have been one of the earlier ones that we did for the Discourse Syndicate, where I said like, "Hey, what price do you think like we might be able to hit at the top of the market or something?" I was like, 28 cents. I was like, 28 cents? No way! Like,
hey, real quick though, in Hexillionaire's defense, right. He's a trader, and he goes out there and he said he's not a coder. He doesn't read code. He didn't read that code, and he had already dumped that stuff. As soon as Good Texture came on. So in his defense, the guy's out there trading and hooking and jabbing and taking big risks. Yeah. And
but even me as an example, like I heard that and I looked it up. So I'm sure a lot of other people looked it up too. And some of them might have bought it, So.
Yeah. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it's one thing to be in here, be in Hex, be in some of the Hex products. It's another thing to be out in crypto and, sniffing around out there because you don't know what you're going to catch in those places because there's some shady ass shit out there, guys. And I mean, if in my opinion, your safest bet in crypto right now is Hex. I mean, it is a safe place to put your crypto because you're going to grow your crypto. Now, the value of it, Who knows? That's the way all of crypto is. Who knows? But there's no place really where you can safely grow your crypto. You know, it's that whole baseball card mentality. So I've got a stack of these basketball cards in my safe for my kid, and they're Kobe rookies, they're Shaq rookies. There's all kinds of stuff in there. They're all mint 9s and all that stuff. And I put them in that safe, and the valuation of those at the time, $20-$30 a piece, whatever, $40 a piece, put them in the safe. I go back in the safe 20 years later. Here's my son. He's in his 20s. He's going to college. Maybe it's time to get rid of a card or two, buy him a car or something. I pull those cards out. There's still only one of those cards in there. It didn't change over those 20 years. The valuation of it changed, but that card is still just one freaking card. There's not 4 or 5 Kobe rookie cards from that one card. There's not 10 rookie cards from that one card. There's just one. And the valuation of it has changed, but it hasn't grown. There's been no value really added to it as far as growth. Now you put your HEX in, and you put it in that same safe for the 20 years that I just did, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And I'm telling you guys, this freaking time goes by fast. You guys look at 15 years and think, you look at 15 years and think that 15 years is a long way away. I got something news for you guys, buddy. 15 years is going to come and go like you were like, oh shit, I should have put a couple mil in. I'd be sitting pretty right now if I would have staked a couple mil or something. Shit. 15 years is going to come and go like nobody's business. Yeah. And I mean, so putting that HEX in a stake is a lot better than sticking those Kobe rookie cards in that safe that they've been sitting in there for 20 years. So, I mean, you know, you got to look at it that way too. That's how I see this whole thing, because that's my reality right now. If I would have had some HEX back then and stuck it in, you know, a 15-year stake, you're sitting on a pretty spot. Now, my 15-year stake now, my kids are probably going to be the only ones that get it, like I keep saying.
Hey.
Well, I mean, we have that opportunity now, though. You know, obviously crypto wasn't around 15 years ago, but you have that opportunity now to stake it for 15 years and then get your share of the BPD, you know, and get 80x your principal potentially, or around, even if it's around that, like you're not going to be mad with a 70x or a 60x or a 50x in your principal 15 years from now, I don't think. And that's not even including the big payday. And have you guys looked at the number of, or the X you get on big payday if you stake like 5, 5, 5, 5? I think it's like 6 or so, 7x maybe your principal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's Hexologist did it on his show. He just staked 1,000 HEX just to see, and I think he ended up getting 5,400 for the 5, 5, 5.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
But doesn't it stop going up after 10 years? I remember right.
The share price does not. You can still get a better share rate for 15 years. No, even though the longer pays better and the bigger pays better, stops after 10.
Yeah, after 10. But you still get the shares are still
going up. Yeah.
You get the share rate. Yeah, the share price for beneficial share price, but you don't get the additional longer pays better.
You've locked in your share price. And it's dwindling. After 15 years, it's going to be like, you know, you're going to see the growth. So Steph soyed out, guys. He made a call and he just bought. He chickened out. So if you were waiting for his call, he backed out of it. He backed out right on live on Discourse Syndicate. Steph, I can't believe you PU55'd out, buddy. Man,
I really hope Soyed Out Live is a ref link to HEX. Please make it.
Soy.live.
I've been thinking about making like an RC20 token called Simp Coin, and I just want to give it to people. It's like, what the
that would be like the currency of like OnlyFans.com.
Oh, like if you like crypto coffee, like everyone just checks their wallet. It's like, man, Litecoin Moses sent me 1,000 Simp coins. Like, what the fuck?
So the PSYOP, they're after the PSYOPs engineer. Unipower is slamming my DMs. He crashed Unipower. Way to go, good texture.
Dude, I don't understand what it is at all. It doesn't do anything. It just
they're probably asking him if he could help them code the rest of the math in the back of that thing.
Yeah. But in my defense on that stream, I was already drinking. The second part of that was like I misheard him. I thought he said that was actually Uniswap's actual official coin.
I think he did, though. Yeah.
Oh, did he? Did he say? Yeah.
It sounded like that to me, which is why I started researching it. But then later on in the show, I was like, oh wait.
That's why I was super surprised I hadn't heard about it. I was like, I would have done a ton of research if that was the official coin, man. That's crazy. Because that would do pretty well.
You guys were also talking a lot about Bitcoin and how it's actually kind of on the out, in your opinion. And so I've still got this bag of Bitcoin, and I've been wondering, what to do with it. I never looked at it like it was going to totally die, but Hexillionaire said like he was thinking Bitcoin was going to be $400 at this time in 2023, right? I mean, I don't know
that one.
Yeah, that was an interesting take, and I don't know if it's going to go that low, but I also don't think you're going to get obviously more than like a 10x on it. I mean, even in the next bull market, I don't know.
I think
there's too much.
I think it's going lower. It's a shit coin.
I mean, maybe I just like it because I'm biased because I've owned it for so long. You know what I mean?
You gotta dump that shit, bro. Dump that shit coin on its ass, man.
I know, because I've got equal bags now of both.
Oh, dude. I would.
If Bitcoin really crashed, I would just buy some just out of nostalgia, dude. I'd throw a couple grand in there. I'd be like, cool. Like I wanted to just have like an old wallet, just say like, yeah, I had 10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I want to get my ass kicked at one of these freaking conventions we go to, man. Because all I do is freaking talk shit about Bitcoin all the time.
Yeah, it is nice to hear though, because that is like the least popular thing you can say in crypto right now, and I'm glad somebody's out there saying it because it really gives you that other perspective of. Yeah, there's a lot of shit wrong with Bitcoin. It's not really that great for much. And the 1% that own it, the whales that own it, are incentivized to keep the price going. So they're going to advertise for it. The people that own Gemini and the people that own Coinbase, they're going to be some of the only biggest cheerleaders for it. But I mean, it's pretty hard for a little guy to really get rich on Bitcoin these days.
Right.
I don't know.
True.
It's garbage. It's fucking garbage.
True.
Fuck BlockFi. BlockFi.
One of the reasons I liked HEX so much was, sorry to butt in, but one of the reasons I liked HEX so much was because, Richard explained, getting into Bitcoin versus getting into HEX, you have a chance to own a larger percentage of the pool. Like you can, and then you multiply that on top of staking. You can even, and you stake longer than the average person, you can even get the inflation more than the average person. So I think from that perspective, I think HEX is fantastic as far as like owning a larger share of a new coin. You have way more upside potential as opposed to owning a $75 billion asset. It takes so much to move that and so much,
Yeah, and that's why I bought ICOs. That's why in 2018, 17, I didn't start throwing everything at Bitcoin. I was getting into my ICOs and stuff. So that's where the money was, because, I seen things like Verge go, Verge, made me a crap ton, and I saw that thing just go from nothing to, 23, 24 cents. And it was like, whoa, and that's what got me fired up about, other coins. And, I was into Bitcoin too at first. I was just like, that's where it's at. And then I saw the gains though. I was like, oh, how am I going to make gains on this thing if, it's doing what it's doing? But these other coins now, and a lot of them were shit. And I was just buying the hype and buying all the promises and all that stuff. And just back then we were the first moon boys, right? I mean, we were all like, oh, this coin's going to do this for the world, and this for VR, and this for porn, and this for, we were just like, oh, a marijuana coin. Are you kidding me? That thing's going to go to the moon. I'm in that one, and that was what, 2017 was. And most of us got wrecked, to be honest, and then of course the maxis too, the people that got into Bitcoin, or the people that were buying 17, 18, 19K Bitcoin, which was everybody at that time, they all got wrecked too. So, or they're sitting on bags of, handfuls of Bitcoin where they're just hoping that it goes back up to at least 16, 17 so they could dump it. Could you imagine all the people that have, between $16,000 and $18,000 Bitcoin, because that little top they couldn't sell then, and some of them might have, but there's a whole bunch of them that held. So there's still a lot of Bitcoin that's going to dump when that shit does, if it does hit 16, 17K again, you know? Could you imagine all the people that are going to like, I'm out of here. I'm getting my money back. I'm out of here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of that happening.
Yeah. It's going to take so much work for it to ever get back that high. I mean, it's going to take a lot of people buying.
Remember, there was like $500 billion of institutional money that came in. That's a lot of financial power.
Yeah, no, I know. There's still a bunch of people that have their new companies, right? Their new banks, their new exchanges, their new lending platforms. BlockFi and Celsius and all these people that they're incentivized to see Bitcoin go up too. So they're going to do some advertising for it probably, which is why I don't think it's going to die. But it's just not very exciting to me anymore.
Yeah, I think it will pump for sure.
I think it's dead.
Old man yells at Bitcoin.
Right? Fucking shit coin dead.
Yeah.
That meme. Yeah, when I talked to someone from Coinbase, the institutional side, and they said they had 300 financial institutional customers. That's it. You know, someone was saying the herd was coming, but there's only 300. And I don't think those are like the huge sovereign wealth funds either. I think they're just like small, maybe crypto hedge funds or like a tiny sliver of a fund, a VC fund or something like that. But
yeah, well, I'm more excited about the financial energy that it takes to move HEX and what's already here. And because of the shit that's out there, there's a lot of financial energy within crypto already that can move over to HEX and really push it and really move HEX. I mean, it doesn't take much. I mean, just a few $1 million moves HEX like exponentially right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and there's so much money in the space that's looking for something solid. And if Bitcoin keeps floundering, man, they're going to be looking for somewhere to stick it.
Yeah.
Though I do believe it's going to be around for a really long time, to tell you the truth. Outside of maybe some code error or something, if they find something in the code to hurt Bitcoin, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Yeah.
They're after him now. Now they're after him. They're hunting him down.
What have you started, Good Texture?
I think it's like an hourglass game. So that's what I was told.
Really?
But I mean, there's just so many of those. It's nothing new.
So
just depends who gets in after you. It's a legal Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. How about speaking of stuff that's built, and I'm not saying Ponzi or anything like that, but Hex Business, they're looking pretty good. I mean, they did well, and now they're in their V2 mode, right?
Yeah, I hope they continue to pull off, what they say they're going to do, because it sounds nice. So I hope they do it. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff. They've got a lot of stuff going on in the background. There's a lot of things for the project that they're trying to build, and they're working hard, and they're working with some reputable people. I don't know if I'm allowed to say everything that I know or what's going on, but I know that I'm not shilling them, but I'm just saying that I'm seeing the projects that are working hard, that are putting good stuff out on Hex, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I bought a little bit of HXY. I mean, I think that's public. I think I told people that before, but just to see what it would do, right? But I'm not. What?
Did you see Bitcoin for Life freaking dumping that shit for $45 a coin?
Damn, what? 40?
Oh, you didn't see his freaking live stream?
No.
Okay, so check this out. So they were getting ready to go down so that they can go to V2, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was FOMOing in to get Hexy before they shut it down, because they were hitting their 750K Hexy or whatever.
Yeah.
So when they were about to hit that, and Bitcoin for Life had his phone in his car, and he turned it on, and he's like, "Hey guys, check this shit out, man!" And he's like, "Pink, oh boy, just got another one, 45." And he was selling them one at a time for 45, 42, 41. He went all the way. I think he sold like a close to $1,000 worth of Hexy just one at a time. Ping,
So he just got it as the liquidity was coming out, and it was like
I
emptying
think
out,
so.
basically?
I think
Damn.
so.
Wow.
And he did it on live stream, and he was freaking pumping it. Just think, look at this, think. He's laughing his ass off.
He was barely selling any and just raking in cash. That's what's up.
Freaking killed it, man. He killed it, and now he could take that grand he just made and dump it back in when I mean, that's what's funny is that sometimes you got little things like that in crypto, that little snafus that happen, and you capitalize on it. You just got to be like constantly aware if you're playing that game. If you're staking and you're just waiting, and then stay out of it. But if you're playing around out there, that's part of the game. That's part of the I remember some airdrops, and God, it freaking pisses me off. I think it was the Ardor network when we were dropping. What was the name of that token? I even forgot the name of Ardor.
NXT.
NXT,
like the precursor. Yeah.
So they're dropping NXT, and I did my whole deal, and I was waiting for the airdrop, and I'm on this exchange just watching that thing freaking moon, man. It's just going to the freaking moon. I'm like, oh shit, yeah. And I couldn't buy. I mean, I couldn't sell. Couldn't sell it. And the price just kept going up and up and up. And I mean, I was sitting on a big stack too. And I'm like, oh no, I can't get it. I can't get it out. And then, and then it crashed. And then of course you were able to. They just hit switches, but sometimes you can catch things like that and get in and out and make a few bucks here and there, if you're just playing with some money,
Right.
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Well, I gotta head off, guys. I'm super fucking tired. Just wanted to say hi, and I'll see you guys soon.
Right on, bro. Always good to meet another cutthroat in here.
Good to see you.
See you guys.
Take care.
So coffees. So just to let you guys, if you hear me say that, so part of the, the whole Discourse Syndicate is a bunch of pirates here in crypto, and we have a private chat that the regulars that come on. I post the link in there for the regulars to come in. They're the cutthroats, and Crypto Coffee is one of the cutthroats that just comes in on a regular basis. So if you see some people popping in, that's who those guys are. They're just part of a group that's been supporting us from the beginning, and they were on the 24-hour with us and stuff like that. So they're the cutthroats. So that's what coffee is. What else is going?
Hex and be a fucking pirate.
Yeah, I like pirates, man. I think that's what we are in crypto. We're all a bunch of financial pirates. Let's see. Exchange blockchain deploy. It's not possible. Whoa, I don't know what that's saying. That's a lot of confusing stuff to me. Sorry, Hexolites. Axe, Dignus, and bunch. I can't figure that out. Guys, I'm out late. So Steph's going to sleep. What else have we got? Did you have any questions out that you want to ask, John, about stuff that we might know?
Yeah. Let me ask some quick question I had written down. Oh, this is an easy one. What is your best guess on staking percentage, like right before BPD? So like as far as the total amount of supply, how much do you think we're going to get to? Assuming, well, I guess whatever your assumptions are.
80.
Well, where are we at? Where are we at right now? I think
right
we're
now
gonna
only 21. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're going to probably be around 75 or 80% stake. It might even go a little higher than that.
So you guys think OA is going to stake then, if that's the case?
I mean, that whole thing is that's all big speculation there as far as what the OA is going to do. For us, what would it be beneficial for us if OA staked like the day before big payday and put it for 15 years and then a week later emergency unstaked it? That would be freaking badass. Or it's
crazy.
or maybe it sees like a 1 year billion. Don't we have like a billion hex stake or something in there in the first year?
Yeah.
And maybe it stakes it beyond that and waits for that. That like, are you going to jump? Are you going to jump? Because I'm getting ready to emergency unstake. Are you going to jump? And just kind of holds it there to see what that thing does. And then, if the billion pulls out, then boom, it emergency end stakes and everybody else gets it, but they don't. I don't know. There's all kinds of different scenarios or reasons or way. And then it might not do nothing. You know, it might not move at all. You know, it might just sit there, and big payday will come and go, and people start doing stuff, and the OA doesn't do anything. You know, so there's always that chance. So I mean, so far it hasn't done anything yet so far, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just remember like early on in the project, it staked, like you said, like $1 billion or maybe a little bit more than $1 billion. And then since then, it's just basically done nothing. It's just sitting, boosting the market cap. So my guess was
the OA is what staked that billion.
I know. I think it was one of them. Yeah. I think this was a long time ago. It was like a 10-year stake or something, or a few 10-year stakes.
I think it was that the origin block address. You know, the ETH origin address.
Oh no, the whale.
That was the whale.
The origin whale, did that 10-year stake. We got that big green candle, and then it staked right away, which was strange because it stabilized the price at that point, you know, and then we kept our ups, and you know, we haven't dipped that. I don't think we've dipped down below that, of course. But
if I remember right, I think they did a 5, 10, and 15 year. I think they did 3 stakes, if I remember right.
And one of the games too, right? Didn't they stake within one of the games? Or was that the other whale?
I think that was the other whale.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, I think the origin. I think they just got their hex, and then from there just went boom, 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 and then.
Yeah, and then it was just out. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean.
And so far, the whales have benefited the project versus them harming it. So it's like a good whale theory. We've been having a good pod of whales, I guess you can say, that have been helping out. Now, a lot of the DApps, because they're you know, running on, you know, whatever fuel they have to run on, they're probably dumping, you know, what they have to. I don't blame them. They got to do what they got to do. That's just part of the game, I guess. Yeah. But they're bringing people in.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a big whale, like if I had that, let's just say I had like 100,000 Ethereum or so, what I would do is, just to retain my wealth in the ecosystem, is I would throw a couple thousand here, 500 ETH into each project, and anything that I saw that had potential, I would just be, okay, I put some here. That way, if something were to happen, I mean, it's sort of like at that point when you have that much Ethereum, you're essentially like not an angel investor. Well, okay, kind of like you're doing some kind of venture fund essentially, where like you only need 1 in 10 crypto projects to win out in order to give you a return back. And then also that's probably how they're playing it. Like for them, it's probably like, there's no way I can have that much money to actually market buy that much Ethereum. So I need to just invest in projects that could 10x my return, so I can just keep getting higher, or become a bigger whale in the Ethereum ecosystem. I mean, that's probably what they're thinking, but it's not a bad strategy. I mean, it's kind of like they're just copying off of what they've seen in the real world, you know, with regular investments.
Yeah.
I don't know if Laser's fucking with me or if it's true, but he just said that we just bounced.
That we bounced?
No.
Like the stream died, or no?
No. That Hex, he said bounce, 23% jump.
Oh, really?
God damn it.
No. I'm looking at it right now. He's bullshitting. He's just fucking with us.
Yeah. What the hell, man? I was about to exit scam the live stream right now.
Oh, another question for you guys that I have that was, what would you like to see built on top of Hex in the short term, medium term, whatever? Like, what do you want to see on top of Hex? Like, how do you want to use it?
Wow. I thought a way to have some type of a lending platform, so you can stake without, I guess because then you give up your keys to another party to do that. It would have to be built on it that way, and then you stake through them. They hold your keys, kind of thing. Because that's the only way anyone would be guaranteed you to not exit scam them, you know, not your keys, not your crypto whole deal. But I don't know if you can really improve on that, to be honest, other than the dApps that we already see, the games, the staking tools, those kinds of things. I mean, that's not really an advancement of Hex. It's really an advancement of themselves being built on Hex. So I don't know, man. That's a hard question. I've been trying to think of, my entrepreneurial brain has been telling me, okay, well, what can we do? We're in early, we understand Hex. What can we build? What can we put on it that would make Hex better? And every time I try and do that, it's just like mental masturbation. I don't see anything in this, it's such a simple product that, what can you really do to change Hex other than try and build something else different? I don't know. I don't really see anything improving Hex. I think Hex is good enough as it is, to be honest. So I've tried. I really have tried. How about you guys?
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe of a wallet, so it's. I call it like a bubble or something. So I thought maybe this could come out in the future, where with the same idea you were talking about I could just give the keys of a stake, right? But you'd have to give an entire wallet over for them to be able to, let's just say you had one stake on one MetaMask, and then you'd give the private keys over to somebody else, so you'd be able to go loan on it. But what I was thinking is it's maybe some sort of a wallet that creates sort of like a wallet within a wallet that you could then transfer over just one single stake over to somebody for them to hold if they were to lend you money on it. And then that's the only way I can sort of think how that could work without you giving up all your other keys, because it'd get really annoying after a while having to have so many MetaMask and passwords for these, for these things. Maybe you just deposit Hex on here and then they stake it, and then they can lend you on like a 25% on value or something like that. Sort of like what Celsius does. Loan to value. And that would make sense, because if you do something like a 25% loan, let's just say on 1 million Hex, and then they give you the equivalent value of about $250,000 of that at like a 1%, 3% loan. That's pretty valuable, at least for taxes in California and stuff, because if you're borrowing against an asset, since this is all considered, what's it called, a commodity, that you could just borrow against that and you wouldn't pay taxes on basically loaned income, or like a loan essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a loan to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that could be coming, but I think that'll probably come after the big payday. And then once people get used to it a little bit more, and it starts, the price gets, because I think I'm sort of getting towards that sort of thing where I think the price will keep going up over time, but it's going to stable off, depending on what people are doing up and down and stuff and marking. It's sort of like how Bitcoin is in the future, when the price kind of stables up a little bit.
So here's what's interesting about that theory, because I've said it, and I've said it a bunch of times myself. I think it's going to, and I probably even said it today, that I think it's going to level off and we're going to see it. But if somehow, some way, and I'm going to put this question up just because I want to talk about this too. Somehow, some way, we change the onboarding process into crypto. If I can take my fucking debit card and swipe it, and it turns into Hex onto my wallet on my phone, then we've made it. We've done it. That's how easy it needs to be. I need to be able to take a card, throw it in an ATM, and have it pop out on my phone as Hex in my wallet.
Yeah.
That's what I need to be able to do with my currency. I need to move it that quick, and then I need to be able to stake it right from there too.
We need a cash app, but instead of having Bitcoin on it, it's just Hex. That's what we need. Yeah, that's what we need. Just a cash app, essentially.
So Hex Delight tells us to shut up. So he says, "Sorry guys, you need to talk less about the money and price," which we all do. Come on, dude. Fucking Moon Boys here. We all gotta pump up our Hex, right? And feel good about it. Especially right now when we're sideways, bitch. And then talking about the wealth. You need to talk more about adoption, getting more people involved. And I believe that's right, And no, not K, but part of it, we're gonna talk about adoption, because that's the hard part. The app that I would build is something like that. I need to be able to swipe my freaking debit card and it turns into Hex on my wallet, and that's it. Right. Period. End of story. Done.
Hex Delight, you can start YouTubing and podcasting and start putting your face out there to get adoption, man. Go ahead, please. Open invitation, man. Do it.
It's a hard task. Adoption is a hard task because, like we've all sat here and said, fees, freaking onboarding, Coinbase, KYC, UI. Spread your cheeks and bend over and cough. The whole thing, all that stupid shit that they make us do to get into crypto is what makes it difficult for people. And then on top of it, they got to learn about blockchain. They got to learn about cryptography. They got to learn about hash and all this other crap.
Mm-hmm.
So that it overwhelms people, you know, and so it's really hard. I mean, it's hard enough to get boomers to look at TikTok, you know, or some shit like that versus, you know, crypto. Really? The people with the money you want in to onboard, you're going to try and teach them crypto and they can't even freaking run a TikTok on their phone. So, I mean, the process has got to be made easier. So all you smart motherfuckers out there, try and figure out a way to escape Coinbase and all these sons of bitches. Somebody build an app where we can, you know, swipe a card or put in a debit card number and send it somewhere that's going to, you know, look like a Visa transaction and not alert the bank or anything. And it goes into that transaction and it turns it into crypto for you. Whether it turns it into HEX or not, I'd love to see it do that. You know, at least if it turns it into crypto somehow, then you've got something. You did it. You made it. You've made an onboarding tool, because that's what I need. I need to be able to say, here, just give me your credit card number. There's your ETH, there's your Bitcoin, there's your HEX. And then they go, oh shit, that's cool. Well, hey, look here, let me put this app on your phone. Oh, there's your HEX wallet. And here, you can stake your HEX here. You mean I just bought a CD? Yeah, you just bought a CD. How many years you want to put it in for? 5 years? Yeah, let's make a 5 and a 3 year and a 15 year. There you go. Done. That's how easy it needs to be. They don't need to learn about cryptography. They don't need to learn about hash rate. They don't need to learn about all the shit that we've all had to learn about in the beginning. They need to be that freaking easy for them. Then we can start onboarding people and everybody can be happy. And Hex Delights, you know, you'll be happy too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, definitely. It's just, that's the challenge that, you know, crypto's faced. You know, what crypto out there has that there's been a couple that, I mean, everyone's trying to do the point of sale crypto, you know, Pundi and some of these other ones. But you don't really see, other than, you know, Bitcoin and the Cash App, there's no real like onboarding tool where you can just buy it instantly with your, you know, and then it's accessible too, right? So that's what I hate with Coinbase, is if you ACH it, 6-7 days, like, do they really need to look at your account and make sure everything's good? Because the ACHs usually take 2 to 3 days, or less, sometimes 1 to 3. But why is the extra 3-4 days? You know, that just they need to see all of our stuff. I don't know, but yeah,
they're just gatekeeping. And I mean, there's got to be a way that it looks like a transaction to the bank. You know, there's got to be a way that crypto goes somewhere. It looks like a or that fiat goes into the system and looks like a. I guess there's regulation involved in there. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, there is some, yeah.
So there's, I mean,
banks and stuff.
Yeah, which I don't understand, because it's a commodity. I mean, it's like buying a freaking baseball card. If I go to somebody's, you know, baseball card shop and I swipe my card, there's no gatekeeping on me buying that asset. You know, there is none. So why are they doing that to crypto? I don't understand, but I guess it has to do with it being a quasi currency. I don't know.
I think it's competition reasons. I think that they know that crypto, is going after them specifically, the banks. So they feel a little threatened, and yeah, I mean, they should be to some degree, but I don't also believe this narrative that, you know, the hyper Bitcoinization, the hyper crypto, you know, take over the world, take over all money. I never believed that. But a lot of people you know, just like to talk about those things and just to pump their bags. But that doesn't seem like a realistic thing anytime soon. Nearly in our lifetimes, I don't believe. If at all.
I think we might have the dollar winning out, and then just having crypto on the side as well. Like, I actually think most of the other currencies on the planet are just going to, you know, just destroy themselves essentially.
They're clamoring for the dollar.
Yeah,
they're trading them for the dollar right now. I mean, that whole dollar milkshake thing is true. If you haven't looked into that, look at the dollar. I think it's called the dollar milkshake.
Yeah,
whatever that guy Johnson or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
but I finally listened to him yesterday. I was out painting my shed, and I was like, oh, everybody keeps telling me I talk like this guy, that the dollar milkshake dude, because I believe freaking you can't fuck with the dollar. The dollar wins. You can't beat the dollar. It's the currency of the world. If all the other currencies are getting their ass kicked by the dollar and the dollar is being devalued, then guess what all the other currencies are doing? They ain't gaining, they're freaking losing even more. You know,
and that's with all the printing we're doing too.
And that's with all the printing.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to get these dollars. So
6 trillion. Yeah.
It's not gonna affect it. It's not gonna affect it. Watch. They're all this fear about the dollar crashing. It ain't gonna crash. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna push other ones into the dirt, that's for sure. There's a bunch of them already starting to lose ground. You know,
strengthening. It's strengthening against all other currencies.
And it's strengthening. Now, the end result is going to be devastating for the dollar eventually. It's gonna be hard times for the dollar eventually. But right now and for a while, it's gonna be moon boy time on the dollar, to be honest. You know, and it's gonna be a while before it starts to inflation starts to screw things up, and it'll come, but not until after we get everybody back to work, going to Mars and doing all the shit that I keep saying we got to do.
But you're right on that. We really do need to start getting back into because it gives people like something to dream and focus on, and like get people back into the science and math, you know, into STEM fields
and working, man, just working, just making fucking rockets again, making, you know, ecosystems for people to live in outer space with. I mean, doing all that shit is important. I mean, I call it fleas. You know, fleas give a dog something to do. We're like a dog. We need fleas. We got to have something to do. And if we don't have something to do, it's idle. It's nothing happening. We need infrastructure projects. We need, you know, and then the store of value. I see this big store of value in Hex, man. I mean, the money is going to want to be safe somewhere. It's going to want to grow somewhere, and there's going to be nothing that it can grow in. The negative interest rates all over the world that are already starting. The U.S. hasn't hit the negative interest rates yet, but the world is starting to see negative interest rates. And when that starts happening, they're going to be clamoring. All these sidelined trillions of dollars that we didn't get, that ended up in the stock market, because stock market's fucking bumping while we've got, you know, 30 something million people, or I don't even know how globally how many people are hurting, but those
demographics, man,
that money is going to be looking for a place to go. And I see something like Hex. I mean, if you're making a minimum of 3.69% on money that's sitting there for a few years, that's fat freaking money for negative interest rates that are out there. That's fat, you know,
especially since the simulated compounding as well, you know, so that's immutable passive,
immutable, an immutable contract, passive. What do we call it? Trustless interest. So you don't have to worry about there being any kind of a downturn or reason for your interest rate to change. It automatically is going to go up or stay par at 369 or go up. I think there's some scenarios where if you stake for a short period of time and pull out, that you don't get that 3.69. I'm not sure how exactly that works on short stakes, but I think on any long stakes, you're almost guaranteed to realize the 3.69 if you're.
And that's only if that was 100% staked. That's not including, that's not including all the other people that aren't on stake. So let's just say there's 80% staked. You're gaining the amount of ROI you're getting per year is insane.
And look at this. So look at my math. So this is my math right here. I just pulled up my calculator, and my calculator says that it's running about 17% right now. So I mean, look at that. That's So 369 is the minimum. It's running at 17 right now. So if we get a lot of people that stake, of course it's going to go down. But then once those stakes start coming open and things are, you know, opening up a little more, as people unstake and their stakes become mature, then that's going to level off too. Because like we said, we all predicted kind of like 70-80% staking, you know, at the big payday. But then that's going to start, you know, people are going to start pulling out. So there's going to be some more liquid hex out there. Probably they're going to stake some more, cash some out, whatever people are going to do. But that's going to change too. So maybe you'll end up with 50-60% staking rate. You know, I don't know. That's just a guess. That's just fucking throwing up some against the wall. But, you know, I wonder what that kind of what kind of rate of return you're going to see on that. And then it'll stay pretty much stable. You're probably going to be floating around. I think that some of the numbers showed, the models showed like 13%. It running around there.
Hey, RG3.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I have to get going. I have to go. I'm keep getting messages that I need to pick someone up.
10-4, bud. You're good,
Hey,
man. You're good.
John
We're gonna.
Wick, it was really nice to meet you, man. Like, you're pretty smart.
Really
Thanks,
smart.
dude. You too.
Really smart, man. It's good to talk to somebody that, like, half the time people just know Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. That's it. And it's sort of like that's all in their wheelhouse. And
What are those?
Yeah, what are those? Usually, most people don't even know anything about stocks or bonds or anything. So as you talk to anybody that knows more than crypto, bonds, and stocks, it's like you're like master of the universe,
Yeah, it's a cool niche to be in. I definitely enjoy it, and it's just like I think crypto is interesting in general. So, and thanks for providing the content too. I love the show. So, good to meet you as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're gonna go ahead and sear it off right here since we're at the 2-hour mark anyway.
Okay.
We did 3 hours the last time, man, and I don't want to do that to people. I mean, I know that some of them have fun, but
wait,
you got me drinking, Ian.
What's that? What was that, John?
Oh, I did want to talk about the self-directed stuff. If you have, we can.
Yeah. Let's get into that. If you got a roll Litecoin, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check this out later. See you guys later, all right?
See you, man.
Don't forget to follow everyone else. Bye.
Later.
Cheers.
So what was that now? You wanted to ask about what now?
I just wanted to let the audience know about the self-directed strategy that we were discussing earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a big value add for some people.
Lay it
that
on.
might not know about it, and Conrad's been mentioning it lately, and I think it's a huge opportunity for some people that want to stake for a long period of time, don't need access to the money, and want to have it on a tax-free basis. I think that is appealing to a lot of people. So I just want to make sure everyone knows about that option. Obviously do your own research, and not financial advice independently. Talk to your tax professional, talk to your tax advisors. Yeah. So should I just go into it, or should
yeah. Let's go into it. So we've been talking about strategies for when people are unstaking their matured stakes, and you start to gather income. You start to gather a cash flow from it. That starts to bring on tax implications, and there's different types of shelters, different types of plans for everybody. I mean, some of them are as extreme as, moving out of the country of your origin and moving to a more friendly country that allows you to hold certain asset classes with less taxation issues. That's an extreme case. That's not for everybody. Some people, and this plan may fit in better for some people who are, they're staked, they've got enough coming in, and it's turning into an income for them, maybe just under 6 figures or something like that, or right at 6 figures. So that's kind of what John's going to be talking about is kind of a plan for you to set something up, or to look into setting something up. It's not financial advice, but this is some questions you can start asking your advisor of maybe these are techniques that you can use or start to implement or looking into in your country of origin or whatever that might fit in your place. I think this is mostly for a US.
Yeah, this is US people.
But there may be something comparable that you can do in your country if you're not in the US, and look into it yourself. So I'll let John go ahead and go into it. It has to do with setting up your income to get the best tax benefits.
Yeah, thanks for that. Mm-hmm. So just to preface on a big macro level, when I talk to people about accumulating assets, and then they want to talk about distribution of those assets, it always comes down to income generated in an income, right? So you can live off that, so you don't have to work, so you're not just living off Social Security or some of these pension plans that aren't going to really give you the quality of life that you want. So with HEX, and with the strategy that RG3 was talking about, it is, as you guys, a lot of you know in the chat, is self-directed IRAs or self-directed 401ks. So you can, as a employee, open a self-directed IRA, and if you're over 50, you can do $7,000. If you're under 50, you can do up to $6,000, and you can contribute directly into HEX, and you can stake it you can use Uniswap, you can use go.hex.win, you can use all the tools available to you now, but just within a retirement plan. And if you choose the Roth IRA choice, that's going to be fully tax-free in retirement at age 59 and a half. So I know RG3 was talking about potentially doing it because he's, in that range. He's got some time for it to grow, and he wants to capture some of those gains, the interest, the penalties, the BPD. I think there's a huge, opportunity there. If you go back to Kyle's 10-year ADX principal model, and if you look at, the long-term staking potential, you can get a huge multiple on your returns. But anyways, that plan can also be done on the business owner side. So if you're a small business owner, if you're self-employed, have any type of self-employment income, you can also open it on the 401k side, and you can contribute a little bit more. So you can contribute up to $57,000 per year to that. So it's a powerful tool where if you do stake it and do, use the contract, use HEX as your retirement vehicle, maybe just for a portion of your assets, that when you do pull that out during retirement, it's going to be fully tax-free. And you can also trade within the account and not have any taxation or taxable gains accrued. So you can just trade within the account once you stake too. So you don't have to stake for 15 years if you don't want. You can stake for 10 years, 5 years, however you'd like. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. And if anyone wants to go a little bit deeper, they can DM me on Telegram or talk to RG3 or whoever that knows more about this stuff.
So basically, and what he's saying is that, okay, so you realize these gains and you have created a shelter. Hold on one second, son. Let daddy finish, and I'll be there in a minute. Okay. Okay. So what he's saying is that he keeps coming in the room. So there's a way to shelter a portion of your earnings, up to 59,000. You said, right?
57.
Up to 57,000.
Yeah.
With a 401k, and that also includes creating an LLC or an S corp or something to that nature. Correct?
Yeah.
So
entity,
So you'd have to create an entity, basically a veil. And then that veil would produce the 401k, which you would enter the 57,000, which would be available to you at retirement. So you're creating a retirement plan beyond your HEX. Now, I don't know how beneficial that would be versus restaking it. I mean, there's also that, but it is a way for you to realize some gains without having to worry about taxation. I don't know what's your thought on that? If you were to just, restake it versus putting it into a 401k plan.
So the benefits of the 401k and the Roth 401k or Roth IRA specifically is when you go to cash out, because obviously you want to cash out your HEX gains into US dollars or your currency, of choice. When you go to cash out to US dollars, you're going to get a 1099 from Coinbase or from Gemini or any, fiat on-ramp that you choose. So in the US, it's a 20% long-term capital gains if you hold it for over 12 months. So for the most cases, most people are going to hold HEX for over 12 months. And if you're paying your taxes and you're doing everything correctly, 20% you could maintain that 20% as opposed to paying it to the government. And then you can use that down the road at 59 and a half for whatever purpose. And you could generate an income stream from that. You could even continue to stake. So it just gives you more options and allows you to stake, within the contract for 5,555 days and get the BPD. So I just think it's a great opportunity and people should look into it.
And you can borrow on that too, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can borrow on the 401k. You can borrow up to 50,000. Or 2% of your account balance, whatever's less.
And then you're just paying yourself back. So
yeah, and then you pay yourself back. So, and then you can also have liquid HEX in your, once you don't have to stake it either. If you just want to stay liquid, you can have some stake, you can have some liquid, you can do a combination of both. But for the younger people, if you're not anywhere close to 59 and a half, you can stake just the 5555. And then when those expire, then you just do another 5555. You can just imagine the price performance or just what the price could be in 30 years if you add up all the interest, just the base 3.69 compounded of 30 years, that's an astronomical number, right? it's hard to do the math and just our brains are, designed to think linearly. It's really hard to understand that exponential growth, right? So I think that's another barrier for Hex, is getting people to understand the math, like Crypto Grandma said, that surrounds Hex and all the contract functions.
Yeah, the gains in Hex are astronomical, which, I mean, the value of Hex is the variable, but the gains in Hex that you're going to receive for staking that long are just, I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, it boggles the mind. I haven't been able to do the math myself, but I've sat down with people who have started to do the math, and they're just like, this is insane where it ends up going, and how the share price, it just dwindles down, and the valuation of people who have staked long is just, through the roof. I mean, it's just through the roof. It's insane gains. And of course, when you do get out, the valuation of Hex at that point is always the important part. That's always
of course, yeah.
That's always the important
that's what we
part.
care about. Yeah.
And that's what we care about. And that's the variable. And that's going, so now imagine, so if we look into the future, we're sitting here 10 years into crypto with an impossible situation of onboarding people. It's ugly. But we're seeing some in routes. We're seeing some changes. We're seeing some hopes that things are starting to loosen up a little bit. Like, for instance, just this year, it seems that the Visa cards are coming out. So I can, it's still an onboarding process, it's still KYC. But I have a Visa card that I can turn whatever crypto I want on and go spend that crypto right now. So whatever that wallet holds, it's actually a kind of a quasi exchange. But I have a Visa card that I can go to the Home Depot, plug it in, and spend Ethereum in dollars with that kind of a transaction, with a Visa transaction. It's a boom, boom, done, paid, walk out of the store. It's handled in dollars. That Visa card is out. I don't have the only one. There's a few of them out now. I think Coinbase even has one. I don't know if it's in the US yet.
I think Block Card, I've heard of a couple of those. Yeah.
So they're starting to make these in routes and innovate and do things. So 15 years from now, so back to my long and winded answer, 15 years from now, crypto is going to change drastically. We're going to, we might be able to just swipe your debit card and pull Hex out and then boom, hit the button. And, so 15 years from now, that's quite the possibility. So the amount of people that might be using Hex at that time might be exponential growth, so that's another thing to look at, is the valuation of Hex is going to more than likely continue to rise because of what it is and how it works, and the fact that it's immutable and it does what it's supposed to do, and so far it has, and nothing has changed that. It's done what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. And I mean, you get paid to hold, there's no there's no maintenance, you can just literally stake it and forget about it, or if you want to follow it, great. But going back to your 15-year, just time horizon and seeing where the world is going to be, that's like, if you look at the adoption of Hex, we haven't even seen the sharp rise yet. Like, we're still in the launch phase, the adoption phase, and we haven't even seen the growth and the maturity of the asset class itself, but then also Hex as just being such a baby at this point. So, that S curve of adoption, we haven't even gotten anywhere close to the first, run up on the adoption side, not price, not, nothing like that, just adoption, users. But for such a small early project, it already has almost 200,000 holders, which is one of the most impressive numbers I've seen in crypto in general, but especially considering 6 months it's been around, it's pretty incredible. And then multiply that with the community, multiply that with, Richard as with its great design intentions and, no expectations, but, his, economic energy he could put towards it. And you have, smart developers everywhere. It's tough to see, Hex going backwards, I guess, in 15 years from now. It's easier to see the adoption go up, but obviously no idea what the price is going to do. It's so hard to predict these things.
Yeah. I mean,
and even where crypto will be in general.
Yeah, that's also the variable. I'm
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I know Hex is going to be here. I know that the contract's going to still be running. What happens to crypto? I don't know. That's the big variable too. So the price of Hex and what happens to crypto are the variables for me. The things that I'm concerned about, the things that I'm looking at. So like what Hex Dlive said, onboarding is the most important thing. And how do we make that? How does crypto make that easy for people? And what I don't understand is the whole KYC thing when we're talking about a commodity. That obviously I don't understand the law or currency law or whatever it is. But I mean, we are just trading a commodity. It's been told that's what it is. We've been told that's what it is. So I don't understand that. I mean, I can go out and spend my money on a car and nobody cares, a classic car or some baseball cards, like I said, and nobody cares. But maybe you get 1099 on those too. I don't know. Do you?
On the collectibles?
Yeah. So say I sell a basketball card for, $10,000. Is there a 1099 that's involved in that?
Depends how you get paid, I guess, and any records you have. But you could probably get away with it, if it was cash. If it's cash, then definitely. But yeah. So.
But I mean, legally, are you supposed to with a commodity like that? Is that the process?
I mean, you're obviously supposed to. Yeah. Keep track.
I mean, I know at the DMV, you get a car, you tell them how much you paid for it, blah blah blah, and you pay your taxes on it, whatever. But I guess that's the same thing for collectibles and stuff like that too.
Technically, yeah. But I'm sure a lot of people in that space get around it. Yeah.
Right on.
So, all right, I'll let you get going. I know we're getting over 2 hours, so
yeah, we're getting over 2 hours. No, John, I appreciate you coming on. I always like picking people like yourselves' brains and just seeing what's interesting to me is like, where you sit, where you tell people to put their smart money and how you would advise somebody that you were talking to in the financial world. Crypto is a very risky investment. Even if you're asking me about it, it's about 1% of your risk. I see that side, but then I also see the emotional side of you where you say, hey, if I had some free money, man, I'm going to put 25% of it here. But you were still conservative about that, because if somebody gave somebody $100,000 right now, they might put the whole thing in Hex, on an emotional note.
I think context matters, because I would have to do a deep dive on everything, all the assets. What are the income expenses flow? What's the cash flow like? What's your time horizon? What's your risk profile? What's your other assets? Are you married? There's all these other factors. Do you have kids? Do you have to pay for college? Like, there's so many factors that you don't really think about initially that go into deciding that amount. So again, if people are younger and they can stomach the risk, you don't have to do, like, 1% is very conservative.
Yeah.
But for the average Joe, I think I would say 1% is safe. You're not gonna, it's not gonna ruin your lifestyle, but it could give you that asymmetric risk reward a little bit to get some of that alpha in the portfolio for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's where I sit with it, man. That's where I've always sat with crypto. It's always been that portion of my portfolio. But what's funny is that 1% right now is out tracking everything.
It is.
It's except for real estate holdings, it's out tracking everything else. I mean, by far. And my real estate is about to freaking dump anyway. So, I mean, I'm in California, so we have big highs and big lows, and I've seen the market, do this a few times, and we are sitting at the cusp right now, getting ready for a dip in that. But I mean, real estate, we just hold it forever. I mean, I think the whole 30-year mortgage payment plan is a big scam anyway, because
it's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's a whole nother topic.
A whole nother deep dive. Yeah, we can do it.
But
there's a
anyway,
lot,
thanks for coming on and letting us pick your brain, John. Appreciate you in the community.
Appreciate you too. Thanks.
You're always in there hooking and jabbing and getting in the chat and whatnot.
Sending memes and stuff. I love the GIFs and all that. So I'll see you guys all on Telegram and wish everyone the best. Hope everyone.
Yep, and hit him up, DM him, and
hit me up. Yeah,
if you want to talk to him about that program, and I will too. I'll be hitting you up too, bro.
Yeah, hit me up for sure. And if you have any if you ever want me to come back on, or if you want to chat about anything, just let me know.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys on Wednesday. We're going to have Firebun on, and he's got some cool stuff to share with us, so you don't want to miss that one. Catch you guys later.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.